This is Juko the Mountains Maris. In today's video, we shall be reviewing this project called Orizon, right? Orizon. Okay, Orizon is both a staking project, a smart contract project, and also a coin. They have a coin called Oricoin, right? So we are going to make a review of this particular project to know if it is really legitimate or not. All right. So the information the person sent me, maybe the detailed, which I classify as the detailed way to aim from this. Uh, Number one, they have what is called flexi staking. Okay, flexi staking. So with flexi staking, they say you can withdraw anytime, so no lockup. All right, there's nothing like locking up your money and all that. So with flexi staking, you can withdraw any time, and then rewards are smaller. All right, but you still earn. Example, they say if you stake like 100 ori for 30 days, you will get 20 ori extra, worth $1,000. All right, and then if you do for 90 days, you get 72 ori, worth $3,600. And then if you do for 180 days, you get 194 ori, worth $9,700. And then 360 days, you get 756 ori, worth $37,800. And then they also have fixed staking. So that one is locked. So you will lock it for the period of time that is provided here. So they said example of the days you will lock is 90 days. For instance, if you stake 100 ori for 90 days, you get $4,000 worth of ori, which is 80 ori. And then 180 days, you get 350 ori, worth $17,500. And then 360 days, you get 1,900 ori, worth 95,000. All right, so the key point here is that 1 ori is equivalent to $50 based on the example given above, and then rewards are calculated in ori, then shown in USDT dollar value. So flexi, they say it's safe and flexible but less profit, while fixed is risky and locked but higher returns. So in short, if you just want safe returns and access to your money anytime, choose flexi. If you want much bigger profits but are okay with not touching your money for months, choose fixed. All right, so the point here is that is it legitimate or not? Number one, you should also know that the value of the coin is also determined by the a lot of factors like the tokenomics, the adoptions, the number of users, and the liquidity, all right, that is being provided to that particular coin. So it is not just about that the coin is worth $50. The coin may worth $50 today, and tomorrow may worth less than $1. The coin may also worth $50 today, and tomorrow may worth more than $1,000. It all depends on the value of the coin, and if the coin is a mintable token, like they continue to mint the coin, there is a tendency that the price will drop, because the more you mint, the lesser the price. The higher the supply, the lesser the price. Then the higher the demand, the higher the price. This is just a simple law of economics. It is also applied here. All right, so that is it. And then if we go to, let me go to the dash. This is the dashboard. All right, you can see the dashboard here. So as you can see here, I have already connected my wallet, right, because I am doing some testing on this particular project. All right, and also, if you go to the very brief information they provide here, I don't want to read everything in detail, but there are basic things I need to point out, which is the contract address. All right, like I always lay emphasis on contract address whenever you give me a crypto project review, because contract address contains the codes of that project. The contract address contains what happens behind the scene. of the project. The contract address contain every security features, whether there is a tendency of rug pull, whether there is an owner, whether the ownership is renounced, whether there is critical administrative functions that will give owners the ability to pull out money arbitrarily, and whether there is any risk. We all determine all that from contract address, not from the website. Anybody can create a website and say whatever he likes. All right. And the only way you can know that a contract code, you can get a contract code, is if that contract is verified. Because if the contract is verified, then it is contract address is not verified. Once the contract address is not verified, it's already a red flag, because you can't say what is not shown to you. So you can't say that it is legit, you can't say it's not legit, because the contract is hidden. So instead of hiding the if there is no problem with the contract address, then why are you not verifying it? So we are going to check all these so that we can arrive at a conclusion, right? So you can see that they have a lot of contract addresses here. They say all smart contract addresses are transparent and open to the public, safeguarding the interests of every participant. All right, that is contract that the project have many contract address. Of course, it makes them to be transparent, but that doesn't really mean that the contract that the project is legit, unless you do your findings, all right, on each of the contracts. All right, so we are going to do our finding on each of the contract, but our finding is not going to be on, we are not going to check all these contract address. All right, we are not going to check all these contract address you are seeing here. So the question is not just about the contract address that is listed. The question is the real ones that contains the real things. All right, that is what we check now. And the first among them is the liquidity pool. All right, the liquidity pool contract, you can see the LP contract. That is the liquidity pool contract. All right, this is where buying and selling of liquidity is provided. And if the liquidity is not locked or is withdrawable by the developers anytime, then the token price can be rug pulled. All right, the token can be rug pulled. That is just the fact. If the liquidity is not locked, the token can be so that is why liquidity is the first thing. Where your money goes is the most important aspect of it. All right, so we are going to examine the LP contracts. All right, and then another thing we are also going to check the major contract is the staking contract, because the staking contract is where you deposit your money. It is through the staking contract that users deposit their money. All right, so we are going to check whether there is a backdoor, whether there is an owner, whether the contract is a proxy contract which can be upgraded and the owner can decide to change things in future and do it with people's money and all that. So we are going to check that particular contract as well. And then the two major other contracts we are going to check is flexi fixed staking contract, and then flexi staking contract, because this is where users also interact with the project. This is where you deposit your money from. For instance, if you choose fixed staking contract, where you have to choose the number of days you are staking, you can choose 360 days, 180 days, and then 90 days. Once you approve and stake, that means you are not going to have access to your money until those period of time elapse. All right, so we are going to check if it is safe for you to put your money there and leave it for 90 days or 180 days or 360 days. All right, so these are the things we are going to check on this project for verification. So first and foremost, we are going to start with the website, which is the link. All right, to know when this project was created. So if you go to horizon.vip, you can see that this project was registered on 15th of July 2025, which means this is a new project, and they use Namecheap for this particular hosting. So this is a new project, as you can see here. All right, so it's a new project. It's still a new project. So now that is point number one. All right, so we're starting from the token itself, because this is what you are earning. You are earning the coin. So whatever money you are putting there is being exchanged to that particular token you are earning. So one of the most important thing is what you are earning, is it really worth it? So we are going to check the token contract. You can see the token contract address here that ends with 2e, and then if you go to the uh, contract, you can see that this contract is verified, all right, which is a good thing for the project. And you can see that the contract code is public. All right, you can see that the contract code is public. Okay, so this contract uses a standard ERC20 logic. If you check the code, you can see that it uses a standard ERC20 logic, and that is good. That is good. And then there is access control rules here. So there is a default admin rule on this contract. All right, so the admin can set trading pair and change fees. All right, the admin still have access to do that. And then mint. All right, there is a mint on this project. This contract, this coin is a mintable coin. And then okay, so that is it. And fee system. All right, when somebody buy from the main pair, a buy fee is deducted. So when you buy, a buy fee is deducted when you make a purchase. And then when someone says, a sell fee is deducted, and also triggers uh, fee receiver. All right, and then swap sale fee also. Okay, so the flexibility that the admin can actually adjust fees, set ratio, build, but limited by a precision. Okay, 100E3, like a denominator for fee calculation, right? So this is what I discover on this contract. And then some things I discover on this contract code is that there is a centralization on it. So whoever holds the default admin role control fees and trading pair. Okay, and whoever has the mint rule can mint unlimited tokens. Risk of inflation slash rug pull unless minting is revoked or renounced. So if the minting is not renounced or revoked, that means that you can mint unlimited number of tokens. But based on the fact that this is a staking platform whereby you stake your money and you are minting this token and you are earning from this token, that's why I told you initially that there is a tendency of um of of the price dropping when there is massive circulation of that particular token. All right, and then the fee receiver contract receive all the fees, which is also another centralized thing I see there. Okay, and then when it comes to renounce, I did not see any sign of ownership renouncement on this token. Maybe I'm going to still scan it on maybe token sniffer to know if there is a renounced ownership, because even when I clicked on read contract, I didn't see owner. I didn't see any owner function. All right, owner function. Okay, so let me check has rule. When I click on has rule, okay, so I didn't see any owner function here. So maybe I'm going to use an external platform to scan this. So let me know if I can see something like that here. All right, and then okay, so fees. Another thing I discovered is that on the code, I also discovered that fees on every trade, especially sell side, can cause constant dumping pressure if fee receiver auto swaps fees for liquidity or BNB. Yes, so that is also another thing I discovered here. All right, so that is that on the token itself. So let's also analyze the liquidity pool. Like I said, the two major things here are the token and the liquidity pool, and then where you are interacting with the system by staking your money. All right, so let's check that one out as well. All right, so now we are going to check um the liquidity pool, that the contract of the liquidity pool that ends in 76. As you can see that they are having about 1,071,250 dollars. So they have over $1 million on their liquidity. Okay, so that is okay. And then the contract, you can see that the contract is also verified here. All right, and you can see that the liquidity is on pancake swap. All right, there's a liquidity, the liquidity is on pancake swap, and it matches with the pancake swap liquidity template, because if you go here, you will see it here also. All right, you will see it here. All right, you can see I pancake pair here. All right, where the code started. And then another thing also that you see here is that uh, the security on this particular project depends on who controls the liquidity pool, all right, and the tokens. All right, if the project team holds most liquidity pool, they can pull liquidity at any time, which is a classic rug pull. All right, so but if the liquidity is locked in a contract like maybe Unicrypt or Pink Lock, then it is safer. So we are also going to check if the liquidity is locked. All right, and how do we check it? By the time we scan the token, we will know if the liquidity is locked, because if the liquidity is not locked, then it is a red flag, because the person in charge of the liquidity can decide to pull out money anytime he likes, and the market will dump and the people will lose their money. That's just the fact. So because of that, we are going to scan this coin. Let's go to token sniffer and do that. All right, so on token sniffer, as you can see here, Orizon, you can see that yes, they have a good score. 70 over 100 is a pass mark. All right, and you can see that they passed everything. Token is sellable, not a honeypot at this time. Buy fee is less than 5%. Save fee is less than 5%. Contract analysis, verify contract source. Of course, as you can see that the code was verified. Ownership renounced or source does not contain an owner contract. Like I told you initially on BNB scan, I didn't see uh, ownership or contract or address there. So and it has been confirmed here that the ownership was renounced, or it does not even contain an owner contract. All right, so create or not authorized for special permission, okay, which is also a good. And then holders analysis, creator wallet contains less than 5% of circulating token supply, which is good. All other holders possess less than 5% of circulation token supply, which is good. Top 10 token holders possess less than 70% of circulating token supply, which is good. Adequate current liquidity, ticked. But there is a problem here. 95% of the largest push liquidity bonds slash lock for 15 days or longer. They did not lock any of the liquidity. 95% of the liquidity is not locked. All right, which is a very big red flag, because when the liquidity is not locked, there is a tendency of a rug pull, because when the liquidity is not locked and there is a backdoor, the developers or the owner can actually pull out money from the liquidity, thereby dumping the coin and users losing money. All right, so let's go to dex screener to confirm this. All right, so let's confirm this on dex screener. All right, so you can see ori here on dex screener, ori slash usdt. You can see the liquidity is 2.1 million, but as you can see, it is not locked. it is not locked, which is a very big red flag. And then if we even go to confirm, if you even go to, okay, let me compare this with Akas. All right, let's check Akas coin. Let me compare it. You can see Akas AS coin here. You can see that they have 68.8 million in liquidity, and if you click, you can see a key here which shows that it is locked. This key is an indication that the liquidity is locked, so the owners or the developers will not have access to it unless it is unlocked. All right, that is how to check when a token is locked. So but for this for ORI, the liquidity is 2.1 million and it is not locked. All right, so they need to put this in place if I am to consider this project as a a legitimate token for somebody to hold for long term, because you are not even holding this thing less than 90 days when you stake. So the liquidity needs to be locked, so that not in the middle of the 90 days you start hearing stories of maybe rug pull or money has been moved. All right, if you go to Akas this thing now, you can see that the 90 over 99.46 is locked, and you can see that it is bound on a dead wallet which start with 0x00. So that is how to check this. All right, so we've done analysis on two major things here, which are um the the liquidity pool and the token contract. All right, so we've done the major things. So I believe you already see, already seen what I am seeing here. So everything is now very clear to you. So if you're investing on this particular project, then you need to manage your risk. Now let us analyze the staking aspects of this platform, because this is where you as a person, as an investor, interact with this project. All right, so let us analyze the token. But before we analyze the token, you can see that these people are audited by CETIC. Okay, you can see Orizon audited by CETIC. Then the CETIC audit is on the coin, on the coin itself, not actually on the staking aspect. Okay, so you can see that token scan, you can see that this contract address is the same with the contract address of the coin, which means that this audit is on the coin. All right, so this audit is on the coin, not actually on the staking. Okay, now let us analyze the staking aspect of this project. So as you can see here, there is a fixed staking contract code which they provided, and that fixed staking contract code ends in C06. All right, now if you go to this contract code, you can see that it is verified, right? You can see that it is verified. Now if you click on more options here, all right, if you click on more options here, you can see this place that say, is this a proxy? If you click on that, is this a proxy, you will see that there's an option to verify this proxy contract. And then if you click on the option to verify the proxy contract, you will see this. You will see this proxy contract verification completed with the message, an implementation contract is found at, this is the real contract address that implements anything. So whatever you are seeing there as a contract code was just a proxy contract, which is not actually the real implementation contract, because with the proxy contract, the owner can manipulate anything, the owner can change anything with the proxy contract and still have access to your money. All right, and have access to the liquidity. So the real contract that defines the exact thing that happens in the system is this implementation contract. All right, so now this implementation contract is not verified, and the fact that it is not verified, you cannot see the contract code. All right, you cannot see the contract code because it is not verified. So that is a red flag on this particular project, because if we cannot see the contract code, how sure are we that our money is secured? All right, so even if we copy the proxy address and put on Solidity scan and then paste the implementation address, all right, this is what it discovered. Number one, security score is 0, scan duration 3 seconds. All right, you can see your security core is unavailable. The security core unavailable, contract verification required. A security score can only be generated for verified contract. Please verify your contract to access this feature. So this contract is not verified, and for that reason some critical functions are hidden, so you cannot actually tell if this thing is legit because the critical functions are hidden, and for that reason it is a red flag. If I were you, I will not invest on this project for now until they verify this. All right, you can see that the risk is high risk. 38.5 over 100 is a high risk. All right, threat score, you can see it here, you can see it here. All right, so that is it. Is source code verified? You see, it's a high risk. The contract source code is not verified. Source code verification provides transparency for users interacting with smart contracts. Block explorers validate the compiled code with the one on the blockchain. This also gives users a chance to audit the contract. So since the contract code is not verified, there is nothing to trust on this particular project until they put this in place. So as for now, I can tell you that this is not a safe project to invest on until all these are put in place. So I've also been able, I've also checked all the other ones, like the daily, the 90 days, and the 90 days, the 60, the 360 days, and other source codes, and they are all the same. Like they are all proxy contracts. So all those contracts you are seeing there is just to entice you. They are proxy contracts, they are not the real contract. The implementation contracts are still not uh, um, um, not verified. All right, so that is just the fact. So if you want to be learning more about crypto space and how to do your research, get my ebook on Fundamental Analysis Mastery and join my WhatsApp and Telegram group to be following up with all the subsequent updates of crypto and investment platforms we post. Thank you and bless up.